I'm Adrienne, your sex positive bestie, here for sexy talk, real stories, and tips that just hit. Ready to play? Let's go. Raise your hand if you've ever been cheated on. Now, raise your hand if you've ever cheated. Very little of us are going to have no hands up. In fact, I have two. I have both my hands high up in the air. And when you hear about cheating, there's often the next statement that is, once a cheater, always a cheater. But are they, right? So today I want to talk about this because, guys, let me tell you something. Everyone is so quick to judge. Everyone thinks they know everything, and then something happens to them. And also, if you knew how incredibly common cheating is, from emotional cheating to full-blown sex with another partner ongoing for years, right? There's so many people going through this, and I've been through it so many times in my life, and I'm pretty sure you're thinking, yeah, I have too, because it is so common, but yet nobody really talks about it, right? Because there's a lot of shame, because again, if you hear of somebody cheating, you need to leave, right? But I'm here to tell you, this stuff happens and couples work it out. And also, cheaters can change. I'm going to share my story about that. We're also going to talk about different types of affairs. I had no idea that there was these definitions of affairs when I did some research. I know which one I had with Mr. July. And then also some affair myths. And my favorite segment, Just the Tip, is back. And I'm really excited about these hot tips that I have for you today. I want to start this episode by being super vulnerable and sharing my stories. Just a few of them, right? Because I feel like cheating has been a part of almost every relationship that I've had, aside from Mr. Right. And I think a big reason for that is because I learned, healed, and grew through all the shit that I went through and realized that I was a cheater, a very consistent cheater. I was a habitual cheater, if you will, and I'm not proud of that at all. You've been listening to the show. You know that Mr. July and my affair with him was something that altered my life for sure and changed something inside of me. And then I found the lifestyle and I realized, ethical non-monogamy is for me. I'm very fortunate that I've had the opportunity to be single for a while and then meet Mr. Right, who was very open to this concept and has joined me in lifestyle parties and dates with other couples. And I understand that's not the norm, right? But in each individual situation, you can do things that work for you or find ways to heal and grow together as well. All right, so let's talk about this. Cheating. My God. I was always someone that was I wouldn't say I'm a runner. I kind of am. But I don't know. I never really had a real boyfriend until I met my ex-husband. I dated a lot of guys. I had casual sex with my fuck buddy in college, Pawn Star, who you guys have heard me talk about. And, I was always having good amounts of sex, but I never had to be loyal to anyone. And sometimes I think that kind of shaped me and who I am, right? I was having multiple partners and I was thrilled with it. So when I started dating seriously, God, this is, I'm going to admit stuff on here that it's difficult to share, but you know what? This is real world stuff. And if I'm not going to be honest with you guys, I'm not being honest with myself. And I am a recovering cheater, if you will. And the only way that I am going to keep moving forward in the positive direction is to have full accountability here. So I'm here to tell you, every relationship that I've been in, aside from Mr. Right, I have cheated. I cheated in every single one. I'm just going to put it that way. I'm not going to talk about timelines. I'm not going to do that. But yeah, I did. By the way, I am so not proud of that. It is not even funny how not proud I am. In fact, I have talked about this many times on the show. I did an entire episode of why you should never cheat because nothing will split your soul and tear you up like a torrid affair. Okay. So anyways, and it was just something that I did because I had a lot of broken pieces inside of me. It had nothing to do with my partners. It was me being super selfish and not being honest with my partners and, trying to work on the current relationship, I just took the easiest route, which was step out, right? Again, you guys have heard the stories, but Mr. July was a unique situation for me because I had fallen for all of it. The limerence, the, oh my God, he's my soulmate, the just insanity. Like when I think about it, I'm embarrassed to share this because I'm like, oh my God, Adrian, you're so dumb. Like that man played me like a fiddle and I was just like his play toy, which I usually like being, but not in this regard. And it's fucking embarrassing to admit that, but it's what happened. And at the end of that affair where, his wife found out and it split up his family for a temporary time. I think they're back together now. By the way, to this day, since episode 40 something, whatever it was, remember the fuck who you are, I have not spoken to him and I never plan to again. I meant it when I said like, you were dead to me. And I sent him like an emoji of a coffin and I was like, we're done. And we have been done. But it fucked me up for quite a while. And I had to take a lot of time and look inward at myself and say, why did you do those things? And, I also felt like a dumb bitch because I'm like, oh my God, this guy took full advantage of me. I fell for it when he said, oh my God, we should be together, or I'll never forget the day we met, and all this bullshit. Like, oh, I'm going to get a divorce. Sure, Jan. And he made me feel so low and so dumb. And it was so painful and embarrassing for myself that I vowed to never, and I mean ever, do that again. And I won't. It's something that I have talked to Mr. Right about many times. And I think that's what I want to talk about today is like the people that have done the work, the people who have internally healed themselves. And I have a term for you that I looked up and I was like, oh my God, that's me. The people who have a full accountability with themselves and then also with others. It's kind of like a recovering alcoholic, right? Kind of the same thing because I was addicted, right? And like having those conversations with him, that's something I have done differently. And letting him know, like in some of the issues that we've had together, I told him, I said, I always took the easy way out. Like I would step out or run or not try to work on things. And Mr. Right and I, in our 2 years together, which is crazy to say, we've gone through a lot of stuff together and we've worked through hard stuff together as well. And I'm really proud of that. And I never really realized that when you do that with someone, you totally build a stronger bond. You have more intimacy. And my relationship with him is unlike anything I've ever had before. And I'm really proud of that. And cheating's just not a thing. Okay. For me. So I am someone that I can proudly say and honestly say, once a cheater, I will never be again. Okay. And there's a lot of people like that, by the way. I did some research because I was like, okay, I don't know the, psychology of things or the terms. I just know what I've been through in my personal experience. So I thought it was interesting when I saw some of this information talking about the different types of affairs and then ways that you can heal and move forward with them. And then also all of these affair myths. Okay. So let's talk by just talking about the different types of affairs. And I thought this one was interesting. So there's fantasy and flight affairs. Okay, so this is like these affairs. So accidental affairs. And I know what you're thinking, like, Adrian, you do not just accidentally fall, trip, and land on someone's dick. However, let me tell you something, like when there's a perfect storm situation, and I kind of feel like it was like this with Mr. Right. I was mad at Prince Charming. I had driven to a dive bar, drank Jameson. I texted my gym string and I was like, hey, oh my God, I'm giving some details away. I'm like, hey, if anybody wants to join me, come here, whatever. And he showed up. This is the perfect storm situation. And what it is it's like too much alcohol, a little bit too much enjoyment, and not enough boundaries, right? Which neither of us had. It can blow up in your life when you find yourself in a place that you never imagined you would be. Okay. And that's what happened to me and him. Then you have what's called soulmate affairs. So confusing feelings for a truth that's based on fantasy. If you ask me, I'm going to tell you that all affairs are fantasy. You're only getting the version of them that they want to show you. Like you don't know the real them. My friend Lauren and I argue about this because she's like, Adrian, you did know him. You did have real feelings. I'm like, No, Lauren, like that was called limerence. And also, I didn't know him. I only know the good parts of him. I only knew, throwing down with him in bed. I only knew when he was, super happy with me and we were so excited to see each other. We didn't spend day to day together. I didn't know what he was like coming home after a hard day's work. I didn't know what it was like being stressed over bills or getting stuck in a rut or having a difference that we both had to sit down and talk about. I didn't know him. Genuinely, that's the honest truth. And so the soulmate affair thing, that could be very dangerous. And you will think to yourself, like, I found my soulmate, and you'll do like whatever it takes to legitimize the affair. The next one is, this is kind of a weird term, flying boys and girls, when it's kind of like, the combination of refusing to grow up. And it's kind of like the midlife crisis, and it's like, oh, I got this young, pretty thing that wants me. And, and I already have problems in my relationship. So this affair is going to keep me young and fix me. Right. Those affairs are like some of the most common. And the good news is those affairs are the ones that have the best, result in healing and moving forward and never cheating again. Like those types of affairs are like the perfect storm affairs, I think this is my soulmate affair. Like those are the ones where actually you have a fair shot of really recovering from them. Now let's talk about the other kinds. And this is the one my ex-husband was. Let's talk about pathology and deviance affairs, right? So these are people that have personality disorders. There's the people that just sociopaths and narcissists, the people that don't care. And this is the most dangerous type of cheating because they have no empathy. So why would they need to heal and recover and do better for themselves? Because they are perfect just the way they are. Okay, so let's talk about these. And I want to mention here, luckily, these type of affairs are in the minority, but they're the ones that get the most attention because they're the ones that are super dramatic, explosive, the ones that make the headline news. Okay. So narcissistic affairs are people that have entitlement and mind-blowing lack of empathy. Okay, so they don't feel bad about this, right? Like their sense of self, they deserve this. And they don't care about the damage that it could do to people in the future. They really just do not care. They are highly indulged and feel like they deserve these special privileges and treatment. That's a very dangerous type of affair. The next one is sociopathic affairs. And by the way, the sociopath people, my God, they are some of the most damaged souls among us, but they can be the most charming. And that's why they're so dangerous. But again, like narcissists, they have lack of remorse. They cannot take any responsibility. And so the purpose of the affair with sociopaths is it's always and always will be about them. They're going to lie. They're going to have, negligence and tons of irresponsibility. And they're going to blame the person that they cheated on more than they look inside and blame themselves. Run, do not walk from narcissists and sociopaths. Funny that we're talking about that because there is a situation going on in my life right now. Nothing to do with cheating, but I tell you guys everything. But I got to be careful because I wish I could tell you everything going on. And we have a situation in our life right now where I am trying to move on from, and it's been really difficult, but it has to do with someone that's a sociopath. And man, let me tell you, when I say run, do not walk at the first time they show you who they are. Okay. The next type of affair is somewhat like a sex addict, or someone that has compulsive sexual behaviors. And these are people who they operate on a different level. Okay. They have super low self-esteem and they need constant attention and they need new love, the next shiny thing in plastic to feel alive. And that could be really tough because they're always going to be constantly looking for the next opportunity, right? These types of affairs, by the way, the narcissistic, the sociopath, and the compulsive sex addicts, these types of affairs only get better with a ton of commitment to therapy, recovery, accountability, which by the way are impossible for two of the three. And these types are really, really tough. These are the type of affairs where the once cheater, always a cheater. is probably going to remain true. All right, we have more types of affairs. By the way, did you know that there was this many types of affairs? Because I did not. But relatable once I found out what they were. Okay, so the next one is passive aggressive affairs. And this is relatable, right? Because it's like, my partner hasn't been there for me, therefore I deserve this. My husband hasn't put hands on me in months. Why would I wait around for that? I'm going to go step out and fuck someone else, right? And you know, if you find out what I do, like, I'm going to do whatever I want to meet my needs. And if you find out, you know what, you deserve it, right? Like, that's the passive aggressive stuff is that's a rough type of affair. There's also sabotage affairs where the cheater is kind of like, you know what? Like, I'd crave so much attention from my partner. I just want them to do something to give me something that I hope they find out, right? Like, I don't even care if they find out, because good, maybe it'll wake them up. And then lastly, we all know this one, and I'm kind of guilty of it too, is revenge affairs, right? Like, my husband cheated on me, and I'm going to cheat on him because I want him to know how it feels, right? I'm going to pay them back for the hurt that they gave me in hopes that they feel the same way. And that, like, seesaw fight, argument, cheating competition, never going to end well. All right, now we have the parallel lives affairs. I think many long-term marriage couples are gonna relate to this, right? So it's like, you two are living parallel lives and you become roommates. How familiar does that sound, right? We've all kind of been there. And you just think to yourself, like, I'm not connected to my partner and I want to feel connected to someone. And it, like, scares the hell out of you, especially in this time of life, right? Like, where you're like, oh my God, time is running out. Like, I have to live for now. And this is where, like, people become prime candidates for an affair. And again, it's not communicating with your partner, not working on and speaking up about your needs and wants with your partner. That's something that I was very guilty of in the past. But the parallel live affairs, those are very, very popular. Another one, and by the way, people always think like affairs mean sex. They don't. You know, an emotional affair is just as damaging as a physical affair. I bet to say that most people, you know, they think, do you have feelings for this person? Are you falling in love with this person? Like, the emotional side hurts more than, oh, I was just fucking her, right? But the just friends affair can be a thing too. Like, you know, oh, my work spouse. Like, that's a very common thing, and that can turn very quickly into an affair. It happens so fast, by the way. But let me tell you something. As a cheater, you know where it's going. And you could tell somebody the absolute moment that you cross the line. I will never forget driving on 32. Mr. July was waiting for me at a dive bar, and actually Prince Charming had called me, and he was like, hey, do you want to grab lunch? And I had two men who wanted me for like the next couple of hours and spend the afternoon together. And I remember going south on Route 1 because I was like, I want this. I don't want that. And I was seriously such a coward for this. And it's so shitty. And it just makes me like cringe thinking about it. But I knew the exact moment. I remember actually I pulled down my rearview mirror, or like my mirror and my dash, whatever. And I looked at myself and I said, what are you doing? What the fuck are you doing? And guys, I still did it. Right? Like, I mean, how fucked up is that? But I was very broken back then and very confused with who I was and what I wanted. And that was difficult for me. Okay. So the next one is if you're in a child-focused marriage, like, these are types of affairs that can happen because, like, the mom is busy. I hate to say that, but, like, it's kind of true. Like, usually it's the mom taking care of the kids and the husband being very involved at work. And the affair is like a misguided attempt to satisfy legitimate longings in very illegitimate ways, right? Like, undermining everything that's really important to you guys as a family and just getting your rocks off, right? But these are all things and ways and places and how you can find yourself in an affair. I had no idea that there were this many affairs. It's crazy. So like I've said, I think one of the reasons why I know I will never, ever do that again is just the hurt and the pain and the healing that I had to do after Mr. July. Like it took a toll on me. And I hate, like, if he's listening to this right now, like, I hate if he feels like, oh yeah, I did that to her. Like, no, I did it to myself. Right. And I hated the person that I became. And I think this is a very, very huge thing here. If you're someone that has cheated and you want to heal from it, or if you're someone that's been cheated on and you want to know if your partner's going to change, there is an actual term for like a way to turn it around. And let me tell you, like when I read this, I was like, oh my God, that's what finally happened. And it's called relational self-awareness. So relational self-awareness is the ongoing practice of understanding who you are in the context of your intimate relationships. It's about understanding your beliefs formed by how you grew up, like your cultural context, personality, and life experiences that have guided you to these types of relational behaviors. Without relational self-awareness, we remain stuck, doomed to repeat our mistakes. And with relational self-awareness, our mistakes become what they call here FGOs, fucking growth opportunities, right? And that's what happened to me, right? And people with, high relational self-awareness, they're the ones that have a promising recovery. They're the ones that can make the change. And I feel like that's really like what happened to me. So it's having self-compassion, right? And tons of accountability. Like those are the ones that can change. And they give some examples here about like low relational self-awareness and then high. So like a low RSA story would be the blame game. Like this is someone who puts all the blame on someone else. Like my ex was crazy. You would have cheated on them too. Or that relationship was so toxic. I was unhappy. So of course I looked elsewhere, right? Like that's not looking within. That's not taking accountability. Another one is like the shame game. Someone that is like shaming and blaming someone else. And like not accepting the mistakes that they made, right? And then lastly, like, the high relational self-awareness is when you have full accountability, right? Like self-compassion meets accountability. You learn from it and you are committed to living a different life now. And you turn towards your partner when there's some things going on and not away. That's something that's huge for me. And I've had so many conversations with Mr. Right where I'm like, I don't usually do this. Like, I'm not used to talking about hard things. I'm a runner. Like I run. I don't like going through this stuff. And that's the difference between me who was the cheater and me who will never do it again now. All right. I want to talk about 3 common myths that are associated with cheating. And the first one is cheating means having sex with someone else. So let's talk about this because crossing the line in cheating means different things to different couples, right? In some relationships, flirting is considered cheating. And in others, it's no big deal at all. Liking girls on Instagram could be cheating for someone, and then for others, it's not. But I think this is where it is vital that you communicate with your partner and talk about these boundaries and emotional guidelines that you will have for each other, right? Like you need to get specific with each other. How do you feel about sexting or porn, or how close is too close to a friend or coworker? And it may seem awkward to talk about that with your partner, but let me tell you something. It's going to be a lot more awkward and uncomfortable after an event, okay? It's really important to communicate clear boundaries. And, like I said, emotional cheating can be full cheating for some people. And then for others, it can be only when you have sex. Like, you know what I mean? Like you have to know and where your partner stands and where you guys can stand with boundaries together. Myth number 2, once a cheater, always a treater. And that is not true. Just because someone's cheated in the past, it doesn't mean they're going to cheat forever or on you. Okay. But again, you have to have that relational self-awareness, and you have to make sure that you or your partner has worked through and healed from the things that they did in the past, right? And it takes work, like no joke. And if they have full accountability and they discuss it with you without saying, well, she was crazy, or what do you think I should have done? Or I don't have any empathy. I don't care. That's just the way I live my life. Like you're going to know, right? And we're all mature adults here, hopefully. And, none of us are getting any younger. And like, we're almost 50, guys. Like, it's time to really accept accountability and move forward positively in your relationships. Okay. So hopefully if you found yourself in this position, that's been good for you. All right. Myth number 3 is that cheating means your relationship is over. This I have to tell you this right now. If people told the truth and only the truth, let me tell you, you would be shocked and appalled at the amount of couples that have gone through cheating, that have recovered from cheating. The numbers are probably staggering. Of course, nobody talks about this, right? Because it's shameful and it's embarrassing and oh my God, like I'll be judged and my friends will say, I can't believe you stayed with him or her. But that's not the truth of things, right? If you love each other and you're committed to each other and you're going to work through things together, there are ways to do so, okay? It's not an instant end game. Couples who can recover from romantic affairs, if they commit to it, like you'll be healthier and closer and better than ever before when you've gone through this together, okay? We've talked so much about cheating. I would love to know what you think. Hit me up over on Instagram at Midlife Craving or on my website, midlifecraving.com. I would love to know your thoughts as well. I even thought about like asking my cravers for stories. Like, what have you been through? And keeping it anonymous, of course, because my God, this is so prevalent. Okay. Now, let's end the episode hot and sexy with my favorite segment, and yours too, just the tip. Okay. It's been a while since I've done this, by the way, so I'm very excited. Okay. Time for my tips. The first one, for sure, take off your Apple Watch. Take off your smartwatch. Okay. Because I accidentally called my grandmother and it was not good. I don't think she heard everything. I think she heard like the end where I was like freaking out because my watch was on. Oh my God. Let me tell you when I say, okay. Do not fucking keep your watch on when you're having sex. That's like the hottest tip or the biggest tip of all for this. Okay. That's all. Okay. Add prone position to your list. If you haven't done prone position with your partner in a while, please do it now. It is like the most, I don't know what it is about this position, but Mr. Right and I cannot get enough. Okay. It is our favorite way to finish. It is today. We just got it in really quick in the morning in that position. And by the way, he hugs me from behind and kisses on my neck and on my back. And it's just a very intimate position. And I don't know why he just like fits me like a glove. And if you haven't been doing prone position, hot tip, get on it. Literally. Okay. Another tip I want to talk about is remembering to take your time. Slow things down. You don't have to immediately go to Pound Town. And God forbid you immediately go to like jackhammering. No, we're not going to do that. We're going to take our time and start slow. Enjoy the foreplay. And if you are in a rush and a quickie, that's fine. But, just really try to slow things down every now and again and enjoy the moments. I even find myself rushing. In fact, there's a couple times where I'm like sucking Mr. Right stick and I'm like, I'm going to slow down for a minute. I'm going to take my time and enjoy this, because I'm moving fast and I don't know what it is, but the tip is to take your time and slow things down. Okay. I want to give you a tip for the best position to use a toy. And while you're having sex, the best position, and let me try to explain this, is imagine him laying on his right side. Okay. He's laying on his right side and you are kind of making a letter T. You're on your back and your butt is, I'm trying to explain this. God, this is hard. Okay. So he's laying on his side and you're laying on your back and you are connecting in the middle and you have full range to use your hands, get access to your clit. And also it's a hot view of each other. And I'm a big fan of this position, especially when I'm using my favorite Tracy's Dog wand. If you don't have a magic wand kit from them yet, you're missing out. Go to tracysdog.com and check out their magic wand kit. It is the best wand vibrator I've ever had. And use code CRAVERS20, that's CRAVERS20 to get 20% off your entire order. Also, I have a new toy to share. I'm going to talk about it on the next episode. Very, very excited about that. So more to come. Okay, my next tip is when you are eating at the Y, I want you to make out with it. I want you to go slow. Okay. It was funny because when I first met Mr. Right, he was like, do you like this? Do you like that? And he was like moving really fast. And I was like, I want you just to make out with my clit for a little bit and take your time. And he was like, this is actually easier for me. I'm like, yeah. And it's way more enjoyable for me. So think about making out, very slow movements. Your partner will thank you. Okay. So go slow and make out with it. Okay. My next tip, and I was just talking about this when Mr. Right and I are in prone position, is to pay attention to the neck. Little kisses here and there. Like we'll be sitting on the couch and I'll lean over and kiss him on the neck a few times. And he's like, oh, I love that. And I love when he does that to me too. So remember the neck area. My next one is, don't forget that quickies are hot. Okay. I have kind of a funny story about this morning. So Mr. Right got in the shower and he leaves it running for me. He's like, it's all yours. And so I run over to the shower and next thing I know, he like opens the door. I'm like, oh, hello. And he gets in and he's like, hey, and I can feel that he's ready to do something. And it was so funny, you guys, like, I'm not a big fan of shower sex. Number one, the water ruins everything. And like, it was difficult to maneuver and move around. And after like awkwardly, it reminds me of that like Tommy Boy scene where he's like in the airplane bathroom and he's like moving, dodging, jumping. It's like car sex, right? And I was like, this is not working. And he was like, no, it's not. And so we went into bed and finished in prone, which like I'm telling you, that shit is delicious. But just remember that quickies can be hot too. Like mix those, sprinkle those in too. Okay. Last but not least, I'm going to give you a little acronym to remember here, and that is ECC. You down with ECC? Okay. Let me tell you something. Enthusiasm, confidence, and communication are 3 keys to having a hot, passionate, loving, intimate, amazing sex life and connection with your partner. So remember, enthusiasm, act like you want to be there. Confidence, be confident, right? Like that's actually my number 1 turn on in bed. Nobody cares about like your little jelly roll or, you know, a little imperfection here and there. They don't care. Okay. Be confident about it and confident in the things that you do. And last but not least, I think the biggest and hottest tip you can give anybody in a relationship is to communicate with their partner. What does your partner want? What is their, go-to move? What makes them tick, if you will? Like, do they have a kink or what are they into? What do they try? Like, you're not going to know unless you open your mouth and talk to your partner about it. And you would be surprised at how many people do not talk about sex. And then they wonder why they're not having it. Okay. Moving on. I'm excited because I asked my cravers over on Instagram, what do you want to have? What do we want to talk about the next week? And it was a resounding, the truth about people in open relationships. So I'm going to be talking about so many things that I've seen and learned in my lifestyle group. And then, how Mr. Right and I navigate in I would say we are semi-open relationship. We haven't done anything in, God, it's been a year. It's been a whole year. Oh my God, that's crazy. But it's just because the opportunity hasn't been there. But I'm going to talk all about that next week. So I will see you guys next Friday. Mwah.